gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host. It's glad to be here tonight, viewers. Let me tell you something. New school term in Trinidad and Tobago. Parents, feel free to call in tonight to tell the public how was your child first day experience in school today. What's new, what's not new, what changed, what didn't change, how was the atmosphere, was there police presence in the school, was there security? Feel free to call in parents and let us know what took place today in your child's school. So while I'm telling you that, I'm giving you a little update also. The judiciary has announced the 2025-2026 law term will open with a scaled down commemoration on Tuesday the 16th of September 2025. In a statement, the judiciary said, the event, which is usually a large affair, will this year feature only a formal court sitting at the Hall of Justice in Port of Spain. The judiciary says there will be no service of divine worship or parade and no road closure or traffic restriction as planned. So Trinidad and Tobago, it's a step back. It's a step back. It's the judiciary. We didn't really need all those big things, you know. I always said to myself, I said, this is the judiciary. Why are we doing all these things? Closing off road, big ceremony. No, you're wasting time. This is the law of the land. That service is open 24/7 days a week. We don't need all these big mass. It's not our independence you're celebrating. But nevertheless, some find it's well to keep. So, current affairs now, viewers. As the new 14-week school term started today, Police Commissioner Alistair Grovero visited several high-risk schools where illicit activities has been ongoing. He first visited Laramie Secondary, where incidents of violence and delinquents are said to be rampant. He also toured the St. Madeleine Secondary School. Acting Vice Principal Nigel Brown points out hotspots area near the school where illicit activities occurs. He then warned delinquent parents that if they do not control their children, then the police will have to intervene. And I love this. I love this. Listen to this, viewers.
If you can recall, on the day of my inauguration, I would have made a particular statement that if the parents cannot control their children, the TTPS will confine them. It's not far off in that we now have police officers in schools ready to respond to those immediate threats to our children who seek to have that higher educational learning. So just a further warning to the parents out there, keep your children in check. The well-behaved children who are here for that particular purpose of getting an education have no reason to fear from my officers. It's those errant ones who want to bring disruption to the education facility and the system. Those are the ones that we'll have to fear.
So Trinidad and Tobago, for the last umpteen years, school violence have grown. Weapons started to enter the school. Knives, ice pick, bullets, and it went on. No intervention. Bullies in school. It started to go bad now. Children beating up children. Boss head, tear up uniform, chair damaging, table mashing up. Children going home with boss head, bruised body, some broken, some fracture. And the former Minister of Education absolutely did nothing. Nothing. We are talking about the education sector in Trinidad and Tobago. The education sector in Trinidad and Tobago supposed to have a high rating in the Caribbean. This is Trinidad. This was once a little Dubai in the Caribbean. But every night, Saieed have to come on live television to complain about security, to complain about police, to complain about schools, to complain about road, to complain about crime in the country. Imagine that. And we had some well-educated ministers running the country, well-educated. Degrees and bachelor degrees and doctorates and all these sorts of things. But yet they couldn't control or run an oil-developed country. Well, once an oil-developed country. Imagine Guyana. Guyana recently found oil about 5-6 years back. And let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, it is all over the social media. Nobody can blind them. They have all noticed. The smallest child have a phone. And they're on the internet. If you see the development that is taking place in Guyana, we have some ministers running Trinidad and Tobago. They have a degree in being dotish. They have a bachelor degree in being stupid. Let me tell you something. It doesn't give me great pleasure to come here and say that, you know. It does not. But we had a minister of works and transport, and look at the condition of the road in Trinidad and Tobago. A little 2x2 country. A little 2x2 country. Oil develop. Oil develop. Heritage Petroleum. We have oil. We have gas. Look at the condition of the road. For 9 years, you're on the country. Look at the condition of the road today. Minister of Education. Minister of Education, former minister, Nyan Gasmi Dolly. She's so educated, she didn't even know how to run the school system. She didn't even know how to deal with bullies. You didn't even know how to deal with violence. One set of primary school open, hardly any open. ECC school open for little babies, tender kiddies, to go in and look. You couldn't even run that. Imagine this, eh? Minister of Finance. A new party now enter Trinidad and Tobago, 4 months on the scene, and this former Minister of Finance come now to tell Trinidad and Tobago, this government brooks. This government brooks. But all the Facebook bloggers and them, who and press and TV want to condemn UNC. The thing is, we never hear them talk about proper road. We never hear them talk about security. We never hear them talk about education. We never hear them talk about proper policing and how to do their work. Some of them was done for 9 years. They lost their voice. This is reality, you know. Now that our next government control the Trinidad and Tobago no parliament, all of a sudden, for Lumkim, I never hear Lumkim. We used to hardly hear N. National Parent Teachers Association. Sometimes one time for the year you're hearing them. All of a sudden now, everybody gets a voice. Everybody gets a voice. Lumpkin against gun in school with police officers. NPTA start to brag them out now. The bullying that took place the other day, how come you hear none of them? For the last 9 years, bullying take place in school. Where was all these individuals who now get back their voice? You can go on your phone on WhatsApp and type up something and send it for the press, let it print it. You wasn't even doing that. Your hand get crippled, your mouth can't talk. UNC win, your hand get uncrippled now, your hand get good. All of a sudden your tongue start to move in your voice. And your eyes start to see, your ears start to hear. 9 years, your body was dead. You see, I'll tell you this, people ain't like Saieed coming up on TV and talking the reality. They don't like Saieed explaining on TV to what is happening in our country that they're blind to. You know why? Saieed is giving the country a bad image, but it's bad. It's bad. That's the sad thing about it. Educated, successful people sitting down in parliament. And what happened? What happened? Huh? The road ain't no better off as it was 9 years back. It's sad. Saieed, don't say this and don't. Well, shut your mouth and let me say what I had to say. If you don't like it, switch the station. But the next day, when you get up from your bed and you enter into the real world, this is the reality that's going on. This is the reality when you're going on. It's sad. Imagine people getting robbed on the street now, and for only having traveling money, you're getting licks for that too. So how come you didn't have more money more than that? Eh? Where your money gone? And it's tap, it's cuss, it's kick. This is the reality. But nevertheless, before the story finish, I want to thank, I said it publicly, you see what I used to thank Rohan, I used to thank Keith, I never used to thank Clunging, but because he ain't bringing out nothing good. So I want to thank Michael Dowlett. Why am I thanking Michael Dowlett? He was a former principal. He knows exactly what the school system needs. The school system calls for security in school. Security that will handle some rebel children. Rebels. They're growing up to be rebels in the education system. So what we need to do, we need to weed out the rebels from the education system so other children could get the education that their parents send them for. So I want to thank Michael Dowlett for going to the Ministry of Security, that's Homeland Security, and Wayne Sturge together with Kamala to come up with a plan to put officers in school to maintain the peace and not disrupt others from trying to learn. And the one that is trying to learn, we have rebels their head had, they know what they had learned ABC. So I want to thank them tonight. Wayne Sturge, Roger Alexander, Michael Dowlett, and Kamala for coming up with this great plan for security in schools so education could boom in Trinidad. Ask what process are in place in case an incident shall occur. Alistair stated that there are processes in place to deal with children. Listen to this.
If incidents, let's not say when, if incidents should arise, the police will first serve as a response to treat with that immediate threat. And then when that is over, we'll know what investigative methodologies that need to be applied. And if anything, a person is to be charged, there are particular processes to be adopted because we are dealing with children. We have the Children's Judges rules and particular scenarios within different legislations that would come into effect.
So Trinidad and Tobago, meanwhile, interim president of the Parent Teachers Association, we're talking about the Parent Teachers Association now at St. Madeleine Secondary School, Jamie Peters, says armed police are the only solution to keep illegal activities in check. And I support that. Listen to this.
We all are aware of all the school violence that is prevalent in the schools, and the approach what the police are trying to do is to be able to foster a balance. We know that there's violence. The best people that would be able to deal with it would be the police at this point in time. And I hope with the level of love and attention that will be given for the officers who are trained to deal with students at the schools.
So now, viewers, while the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association and the National Parents Teachers Association, NPTA, remain opposed to firearm in school, many parents, teachers, and students say that they feel safer. This is what I'm talking about. You're going to school not to be feared. You are going in jail. In school, it's supposed to be free. Talk and laugh, converse with students. Not to be frightened and not to be bullied. Were you in jail? No, you're not in jail. You're not in jail. So I want to commend the individuals and them for a job well done. Well done, well done. The NPTA, the National Parent Teachers Association, how much of them went to visit students that was abused in school? Did Lumpkin go and visit any one of them? No, all you do is stand in a corner, you bragging your mouth, and that's all you're doing. Fixing the problem, we didn't hear all you for 9 years. So here what to do. Just how Trinidad and Tobago didn't hear all you for 9 years, the next 5 years that is to come, continue being like all you catch a stroke, and continue being with your tongue not moving in your mouth to hear a voice. Continue like that for the next 5 years. Let me tell you something, whether you like to hear it or not, zip all your mouth. Because I wasn't hearing earlier, the media wasn't hearing earlier, since now Trinidad and Tobago, the parents wasn't hearing earlier. You understand? So continue not talking. We are going for a short commercial break, viewers. When we come back from that break, you will hear tutor. Police in school must be temporary. Hush your mouth after this break.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
You a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Welcome back.
So viewers, before we go any further, I must remind you that Real Talk Financing is offering you 6%. That's right, 6% on a fixed deposit only for the month of September. This year we have hit the 63rd year of being an independent country. So this is the reason why the Board of Directors for Real Talk Financing took the decision to give the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago 6% on a fixed deposit with your interest up front. That's right, you heard me correct. Interest up front only for the month of September. So viewers, Make sure don't miss out on this. Back to our news. The president of the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association, Martin Lumpkin, has stated that support will be given to any initiative that brings a level of normalcy to school that are threatened by violence and indiscipline. Responding to the announcement that armed police officers will be posted at 50 priority secondary schools in Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Lumpkin says armed officers will not be supported. So, Mr. Lumpkin, when violence was going on in the school for the last 9 years, I didn't hear one plan from you. One. Much less for 2. Much less for 3. Much less for 4. You brag and you brag and you brag. No, you get a voice. A new Minister of Education decided to take step in fixing the problem. The Commissioner of Police decided to step up his game now with dealing with violence. You have a problem. What was your solution 9 years ago? So just how you had nothing to say, I will say again, say nothing for the next 5 years. How much children get beat up in school? Did you voice your concern and your opinion? Did you went home by the parents' house? Did you send a representative? Come na man, let's say something na man. I just wait for when people like this start to bump their gum when they voice a concern. You like the position? President of the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association. What's the solution? What is the solution? On television, when my show go live, when I raise a topic, I just give a solution one time. One time. Too much crime in the community, the police, you know what they're supposed to do in the community? Random raids. Random checkpoint. And fix the problem in the community. Is that happening? Is it? It's simple, you know. Now, he said this government and other organizations must first address crime and criminality. Hey, hear this now. Hear this now. The government must address crime and criminality. Lumpkin, with the violence coming in the school, you deal with it? I hear you. For 9 years, I hear nothing. But you're talking about the government dealing with crime and criminality. For the last 9 years, the last administration, where you was? Where were you? Were you in Trinidad? Listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago.
As well as the risk associated with armed persons on our nation's schools is not needed at this time. Tutor submits that the placement of law enforcement officers should be a short-term and temporary measure, as the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and other organizations look at addressing crime and criminality, which affects our communities and our schools.
I like how you say that for the community and the schools. So what they do in Lumpkin is that the police in the school, some lethal weapon, some with weapon, they're trying to get the education system under control. Something tutor couldn't do for 9 years. It's sad to say, but this is the reality. This is the reality. My son got an altercation in a secondary school. You know who caused it? A policeman daughter. A policeman daughter calls it. When I went down in the school now to meet them, here the principal is aside now, I can't allow you to meet them. Why? Why? I had to take other initiatives. If you like sitting down, I do sit down just so you know. When I do sit down, it's because I fix the problem. A policeman daughter. Imagine that, eh? Lumpkin where you was. Oh, father's a police. I'm not getting in. You don't have to get in. I step in and fix the problem. That's what I did. Meanwhile, the president of the National Parent Teachers Association, Walter Stewart, stated that while parents raised concerns, which parents? He recently spoke to the DCP, Junior Benjamin, to understand the process of school-oriented police officers. Listen to this now.
We did meet recently last week, Thursday, with DCP Operations Junior Benjamin to get firsthand the process and the policy guiding the intervention and the inclusion of police officers, who incidentally are now called School-Oriented Police Officers, SOPO, to understand their roles and functions and, of course, the remit and the level of the remit vis-a-vis the principal of the school, the deans of discipline, the MTS officers, and the safety officers. Our information is that they would now provide an additional layer of support and not replace the existing school matrix when it comes to school and discipline and school violence. Well, of course, both, because there is need to have them in the schools as well. As a matter of fact, the minister is saying that they are going to be greeting students in addition to the already existing discipline matrix in the school. So they'll be greeting students as and when they do come into the school. But of course, there would be need, of course, for patrol on the perimeter as well of the school.
You know what I love about these two organizations? For 9 years, we are hearing none of them. While students were being battered, we didn't hear none of them. None of them. They didn't even talk to a police officer. But 3 senior individuals now in government office stepped in now and decided to fix bullying in school. You know, from P&M come right back up, everybody have a problem. But if your son or your daughter had come home with a bust head and a teeth missing and a fractured hand, what would I do? What would I do? It's sad, you know. It's sad that when someone decides to fix a problem, others are against fixing a problem. So I will say this. I'll say this. If you cannot bring a solution to a problem, well, then you are part of the problem. And for 9 years, nothing happened in the school to fix violence. Nothing. I remember last year, sometimes 3 times, 4 times for the week, we highlighted school violence. You are hearing nothing from Lumpkin. You are hearing nothing from NPTA. You are hearing nothing from not even the Ministry of Education. But they decide to fix it now. These two organizations have a problem. You know what I would love to see? I would love to see some of your sons and daughters. This might sound strange and harsh, eh? Let them come home with a little boss head. And let me see what they're going to do. Let me see what they're going to do as parents in position. Nevertheless, viewers, Walter stated that regional officers will be present at school to monitor what is taking place. Why do you think they're there? Why you think they're there? So how come all of them come up with an idea 9 years ago now to fix violence in school? All of a sudden, I'll get all a voice to talk. It's sad. It's stinking sad. I telling all of that on TV. National Parent Teachers Association, NPTA President Walter Stewart, listen to this now, praises Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlett for what he called a Herculean achievement in schools repair ahead of the start of the new year, the new term. So a president for the school repair. What about the children in the school? What about their safety? You're kicking against that. Hey, now listen to this. He said 217 schools were on a repair list with another 169 on an emergency list. By last night, workers were still on site, but all except 26 schools has been completed. Listen to this.
We had the opportunity, myself and the first Vice President, Mrs. Saieed Ali, to accompany the minister on a few schools last Friday. And we are impressed. Let me say we are impressed because this is a history-making moment for the Vacation Repair Program, VRP. Because never before have so many schools been repaired, as far as I could remember, and successfully so. There were 271 schools on the radar, on the list. And another 169 schools on the emergency list, they call them. Right. So that at the end of the day, up to last night late, there were workers at our schools. All the schools, bar 26, have been fully completed.
So now, viewers, 271 schools were on the repair list. 271 schools. And is out of 271, 26 of the school has been completed, except 26. But nevertheless, look at the larger figure. Look at the larger figure. Now, even for the 26 schools were repaired, remain unfinished, Stewart said classes could continue without any hindrance or disrupt because the outstanding work was minor. He credited Dowlad for leading the effort despite only taking office earlier this year. Now this I want to congratulate Walters. I want to congratulate Walters now for praising and congratulating Mr. Dowlad. This is the first time I hear that. Listen to this.
And we must applaud because I mentioned at another platform that this is an acid test to this new minister. He came in April, May. Mm-hmm. And to come in that short period of time where we start the VRP, and in the month of July, and be able to mobilize and get these kinds of results is a Herculean achievement, and we must applaud the minister and his team for this fantastic job. Well done. I think this minister, and I'm not casting aspersions on former ministers, but this minister is hands-on. This minister was a practitioner, a former principal. Yeah. So he understands the wherewithal, he understands the operations of our schools. More so, he understands the important role that even parents play in the education system.
I'll give you a round of applause. But I'll tell you something, don't condemn security as yet. Don't condemn it, because for the last 9 years, we as parents saw what was taking place in school. And we was hoping that when our child go to school, they may come back with a bust head, or teeth missing, or a fractured hand, or a break hand, or their uniform tear up and rip up and things like that. You understand? So pat it down a little bit. I tell you, pat it down a little bit, because I didn't hear you for 9 years. So take your time. Take your time. And I tell you that publicly. You make a public statements, and I tell you to the public domain also. Pat it down and take your time. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, Imbert to UNC supporters, why the silence? Imbert, we will deal with you when we come back.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real public concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
You a curveball and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we go with Mbert now. Former Finance Minister under the PNM administration. Former Finance Minister Clong Mbert have questioned why United National Congress, UNC supporters have gone quiet after Central Bank Governor Larry Howard dismissed long-standing claims of a foreign exchange cartel in Trinidad and Tobago. In a post on Twitter, Mbert wrote, "For 10 years, the opposition insisted that there was a forex cartel in Trinidad and Tobago. Now that the new UNC Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago governor has confirmed that there is no such cartel and that credit card usage has increased by 400%, thus creating a demand and supply problems, the UNC trolls are odorant, silent. Why? So Clong Mbert, here's my thing now. You have been the Minister of Finance for 9 long years. And in 9 long, no, not 9 years, probably about 5 years. About 5 years, tell Joe how long you was Minister. I just want to get correct for the people, right? So we're going to find out how long Clong Mbert has been the Minister of Finance for Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, he was a member of the PNM administration for 9 years in government, but I believe he holds different portfolios. So my thing is now, Clong Mbert, the Minister of Finance, okay, good. Good. Your duty now was to pull a team together. You are the Minister of Finance. Your job, together with your team, is to fix problems that have been created. Do all the top shutters. You know what I do for Real Talk Credit Union? Being the president. And you know what I do for Real Talk Financing? Being the director, the head director of the finance company. You know what I look for, me and my team? Ways to create. That is what I do. Hence the reason why Real Talk Financing could have come up with the idea to give Trinidad and Tobago 6% on fixed deposit for the month of September. We create an idea so the citizens could what? Could what, Clong Mbert? Benefits. 9 years. So, we go correct this now. Clong Mbert has been the Minister of Finance for 9 years in Trinidad and Tobago. Good? We confirm that. So what creative idea now did the minister and his team put together to fix that forex problem? What? Now you want to complain about all the UNC supporters silent. So I am asking you, Clong Mbert, being the head, being the Minister of Finance for Trinidad and Tobago, what plan did the Ministry of Finance came up with to fix a problem or let me say the correct thing, to fix a demand that was growing, which you all had to supply. Say something, Klongenberg. You're talking about the UNC troll silent? Well, this TV host of this program, Real Talk with Saieed, we live on Synergy, Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. I am asking on a live program, what solution did the Ministry of Finance came up with to fix a demand problem of US currency? Did you all supply it? For 9 years, all ain't come up with a plan. But you come out on a platform to tell Trinidad and Tobago, well, this present government broke. So my thing now is, how the hell there is no money in the treasury now for this government? Bump your gum now. Bump your gum now. What plan did you come out with to fix the forex shortage, you and your team? And how it is, you could be a bold minister saying that this new administration broke. You forget you was the finance minister for 9 years. And I asked you that last week. How much money did you left in the treasury? Or for the 9 years, what growth of money did you all put in the treasury? You know, you can't come and you refuse to answer that. But the UNC troll silent. Really? Come out and tell them how much money you put in the treasury. Come out and tell them what plans you had to fix the shortage problem. US currency. Come now, man, but man, you're bright. Come and say something. Don't label them, answer questions. But however, has consistently defended the former PNM approach, arguing that the government policy prioritized stability, inflation control, and protection of vulnerable households. But yet now all come to increase 10% on online shopping. So when I swipe my credit card now, bling, I buy something online, I pay 10%. I pay 10%. Was that a creative way? No, you just tax me. That's what you did. Unnecessary tax. I want to let you remember Trinidad and Tobago. Last year, 2024, between March and May, the cabinet of the PNM raised gas. I want to let you understand that. I want to let you understand that the PNM cabinet took the decision to shut down Petrotrin. I want to let you understand that. I want to let you understand that. It wasn't Petrotrin. It wasn't the board. It was the cabinet. That is what I want to let you understand. So don't blame Petrotrin, blame the PNM cabinet. The raise of gas price, when Barbados was dropping their price, when Guyana was dropping their price, Trinidad and Tobago PNM cabinet took the decision. So when you hear the PNM people barking, I'm going to put a pen right there. I want to let you understand, I am not affiliated with any party. So I could say the PNM people and I could say the UNC people. So when the PNM people was barking, oh, I had to go by the pump and it cost me more, it's the cabinet. The PNM cabinet took that decision to raise the gas price. That's what I want to let you understand. So when you're balling, say the proper thing. And you could check it for yourself. Check it for yourself. So Klongenberg, he resisted the call to float the TNT dollar. So let me hope that the present administration do not float the dollar, because we're going to end up in problem. We will end up in problems. Many of us might have to run Venezuela because it's shorter. Half an hour flex, about an hour. Half an hour from boat to Venezuela. Somehow we might have to run down there. So let me just hope that this minister end float, no dollar. So Klongenberg final say now, defended measures such as the exempt bank forex window for essential import said they were designed to target distribution more effectively. Nothing never came out of that. So viewers, it is that time now that we go for a short commercial break. But when we come back, POA and DOMA welcome decommissioning of the prison. Guess it was a risk in Port of Spain. More when we return.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real public concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
You a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So remember viewers, 6% on our fixed deposit, interest up front, only for the month of September. Real Talk Financing is giving you something that you never had in Trinidad and Tobago. Never had. We are opening your eyes, viewers. We are opening your eyes to a much larger vision that we have here at Real Talk Financing. Imagine no other financial institution you're going in that will give you your interest up front. And no other financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is beating our fixed deposit. None. Everyone wants to make, but nobody wants to give back to you. The one who's actually working and putting in your money. So you know what we decide to do for you? When your money inside, it's like your money working for you now, because now you're reaping the benefit. You are reaping the benefit now. Why? Because we at Real Talk Financing are making sure that you reap the benefit of your labor. Where else you getting that? Where else? As I always say, go and check and then come and talk to us. So as we continue our news tonight, the Prison Officers Association have stated that the government decision to decommission the Port of Spain prison is long overdue and a clear vindication of its year-long push for its closure. Head of the Prison Officers Association, Jared Gordon, says he hopes this will alleviate infrastructure concerns faced by the Prison Officers Association members and inmates. Responding to our concerns about the relocation phase of the decommissioning, Mr. Gordon is confident that there is sufficient space at the alternative prison facilities that will be accommodating inmates from the Port of Spain prison. Listen to this.
For us, is we are certainly looking forward to the construction of a new facility in the short term to address, how we manage, especially the remand population, which incidentally is about 3/4 of the persons who are incarcerated are remanded. we should be able to manage those numbers not only at the maximum security prison but at other facilities that we have in a way that would not place us in any more undue stress.
So now, viewers, Mr. Aboud said, listen to this, the president of Downtown Owners and Merchant Association, Gregory Aboud, said that the prison has overlived its use. He said, while he did not object the prison being located at 103 Frederick Street, he is relieved in knowing that the prisoners are being relocated to a more appropriate location. Aboud.
We generally support the idea that the Royal Jail at Frederick Street has outlived its use, and we have had discussions on this very subject up until very recently with Minister Roger Alexander, and we concur with the decision. We do not object to the prison being on Frederick Street. The placement of these sorts of facilities is an attraction to bring people into the city to come and do their business at the jail and to bring people in and out of the Port of Spain. But what we do have a concern about are the conditions inside of the jail itself.
Well, hopefully that will be sorted out in the coming weeks, viewers, and Port of Spain will be safe. And the commissioning of that old prison, according to Aboud, is long overdue. So let's see what's going to take place from there. Foreign Affairs Ministry now. Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers is reaffirming that the Trinidad and Tobago maintain strong relationship with both the US and Venezuela, even as tension in the region continue over drug trafficking and recent military action. Sobers highlighted that there was no tension between Trinidad and Venezuela. Listen to this.
There are no tensions. There's good relations with Venezuela, and we will maintain having those good relations.
He added that he recently had a cordial discussion with the Venezuelan ambassador, who is also acting dean of the diplomatic corps. The minister responded to the controversial remarks by Venezuelan Popular Power for Interior Justice and Peace Minister Cabello about a statement he made, a drunk who governs the ante. Sobers described the comment as unfortunate, adding such statements have been made more quiet in some times. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, even former ministers used to say, oh, come not drinking, she this. Even the prime minister, former prime minister. You understand? But I'll tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. Children under 18 are drinking alcohol. Nurses off duty drink alcohol. Doctors take their little shot. Police officers take their shot. Ambulance drivers and assistants take their shot. Army officials take their shot. Every human being in Trinidad and Tobago, viewers, who does drink alcohol, they take their shot. When I drink too much, how it is getting over high? So, Cabello, he does drink alcohol in Venezuela? You want to make a statement that, oh, is a drunk prime minister running this country, right? Do you drink alcohol in your country? If yes, what is the problem? What is the problem? Then you will be a drunk minister also? And you're a minister? And you drink alcohol? And you just get drunk? So who are you? Say something now. Say something. You see now, Trinidad and Tobago, people just want to put a spin to everything. When I mean spin, let me make this statement. When you're cooking dal, rice, and bhaji, we go say dal, rice, and bhaji. Some go say rice, bhaji, and dal. Some go say bhaji, dal, and rice. And is that you put a spin to it? So, Cabello, do you drink alcohol? If yes, why you bumping your gum? Why? Now, I'll tell you something. Even though some people are educated, you see common sense. God didn't give everybody common sense, you know. Not everybody have common sense. And that's the sad part about it. Because the little brains they have in the head, they would not let it maturely think. Oh, I have a bachelor degree. What? What? What are you really trying to say? It's sad. That's why when I own my program, I do. This is me. This is Saeed. I'm not going to play 6 when I was really at 9. No. That have some people love me for being real, and I have the people who don't like me because I highlighted the issue that they can't understand. But is it reality? No. Somebody described the comment as unfortunate. I think such statements have been made for quite some time. We all know that. Listen to somebody.
Free to make his statements and comments. We are free to make our own. We still share very close diplomatic ties with the people of Venezuela. As a matter of fact, I had a very lengthy conversation, cordial conversation with my very good friend, who is the ambassador for Venezuela.
Now, viewers, Sobers added that while TNT had previously received logistical and technical assistance from larger nations, the country had not reaped the fruit it had hoped for. And the man is correct. The yam bearing fruits. How long? Hear this now. Since the yam plants are hungry, and I'm waiting for that yam and arrows to bear. I don't know how long I have to wait, but I might remain hungry until. Just saying, Just saying. Despite U.S. warship and troops being deployed in the Southern Caribbean and the ongoing geopolitical tension between Venezuela and the U.S., Sobers said, fisher folks have nothing to fear unless they go at sea for illegal means. And that is true. So, viewers, listen to this.
At the end of the day, our position remains the same. The Americans have made it clear their intervention within the region is to combat transnational crime. Trinidad and Tobago and some other countries have been disproportionately affected by transnational crime. We have assistance, or had gotten assistance in the past, logistically and technologically, from other larger nations to combat it. Unfortunately, it hasn't reaped the fruits that we would like it to. Physical intervention at this juncture, we welcome it.
So, viewers, we have come to the end of our program tonight, but nevertheless, a rerun of this is tomorrow, 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. I will be right back here another night for another live show, Real Talk with Saeed. Until then, be safe.